What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, a.k.a. 1/3 of the New Day. You're not going to say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the pop culture's WWE podcast, the show that takes a look at the soap opera nature of the WWE, the storylines, the characters, just in essence, we just mark out. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside.
I'm not the right side of the head of the table, but I'm the right side of your screen. I'm Jem Uso.
It's funny because she really is. This wrestling conversation usually comes at you on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, you can head over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/thepopculturist, as well as Twitter. Our handles are below, and Discord, Instagram. Those links are even down below. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/popculture where you can watch us record this show live. You can get in the chat, become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. If you're on the Apple Podcasts or whatever, 5-star rating, written review. If you're on the YouTube, like, subscribe, comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can. Patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Now, one thing I did do today, Jem, when I probably should have been working, I was working on a new shirt design.
I saw.
A couple of people have seen it. I was having a bit of fun. And it's a thing that we haven't used in a little while, but I want to bring it back. Maybe not for the show, but at least want to bring it back in shirt form. So, for anyone knows like some old references that we've done, I know nothing beats old in jokes on a podcast. But things are coming. I got a new shirt design. If anyone's interested, check out that. How you been, Jem?
Good, man. Busy, tired, working lots, but good. How about you?
I'm very, very well, man. Yeah, so we are recording a day later than we normally do. Jem had some things come up, which threw out her Wednesday evening for those that watch along on Twitch. So instead, we're here on Thursday. Should be playing games. Instead, we're talking wrestling. But yeah, my week's been pretty good, man. Not a whole lot has happened. It's pretty straightforward. It's back in the swing of things now. I've had my a week of recovery back into my work routine after my couple of weeks off, but it's good to sort of move in the momentum, and you get the right things going. But we've no piss farting around. Let's get into it, Jem. Let's talk about the things that took place this week in the WWE. Now, previously, we would separate it by SmackDown and Raw and sort of go upon each and review it. But we've decided to change direction this year. We didn't want to be like every other wrestling show that looks and reviews at the content and looks at it as an episode, which is important, and we will look at it from a show perspective. However, for us, it's all about the storylines, whatever they are, the characters, that sort of stuff, and what that is. So it's talking about the entire WWE in its complete bubble. So SmackDown, Raw, all mixed together, and we're looking at stories and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Fantasy bookings, you name it.
Yeah, fantasy booking, all that sort of stuff. So it is what we used to do, minor tweaks to have a bit of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jem, where do you want to kick things off? Because we can talk Raw, we can talk SmackDown, we can talk about whatever you want. Where do you want to start it today?
I want to kick things off with something that I have kind of been predicting that seems to be coming into fruition.
Okay.
And that is the disbandment, I guess, possibly, of the Hurt Business.
Ah.
So, yeah, because it's kind of going exactly the way I expected. So there was a little confrontation between the Hurt Business and Riddle. Apparently Bobby Lashley and Riddle are having a thing, whatever. Anyway, 6-man tag match tonight. It was Raw Tag Team Champions, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin with is he the United States champion?
Yes, he is.
And you're frozen.
I frozen? We'll just keep going with it. So either way, the Hurt Business, they had a match as we start to see some of the crumbling.
I can see you there, but you're frozen on my end, so give me a second.
That's all right. I've just bounced out of the corn. She can't even hear me what I'm doing. Either way, Hurt Business, doing things, beating up each other. The whole momentum is gone. In the chat, though, Noob says, I believe the Hurt Business is hurting big time. So this is the thing. So the Hurt Business is an interesting connection, right?
And I'm just gonna come back. Give me just a second.
So I'm gonna mute Jem for a sec. She's gonna duck out and then she'll come back in, and we'll go with that. Either way, so she wants to discuss why can't I mute you, Jem?
Okay, there we go.
Yay! All right, sweet. Hi everyone. I know, great audio. And you know what? The thing is, I am so lazy. I ain't editing it. So what were we saying about the Hurt Business, Jem?
Oh, sorry. You completely froze on my end, but I could see you going. So yeah, Hurt Business, basically, there seems to be a bit of a rift in the Hurt Business, primarily centered around Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin not working together as a team, even though they're the tag team champions. Yeah. Now, I said this, I think last week, or I've been saying it for a little while. I've had this inkling that Cedric Alexander entered the Hurt Business under a fake proviso. Like he's done it under a fake thing, and he's going to like tear them apart from the inside. And I think maybe that's happening this week because there was a lot of hostility between the Hurt Business in this match.
It is interesting. So like, because the idea was that, so what we're sort of getting here is that, you know, Cedric is a little bit cocky, a little bit confident, and coming in, that's sort of clashing with, because he's an addition to the Hurt Business, because it was MVP, Lashley, and Benjamin, right? They were the trio. That's what it worked. And they tried to expand. They tried to recruit some more individuals into their business. However, that always comes with risk. That always comes with consequence. And it looks like that's coming to fruition here. As you said, it's not blatant that he's gone in there with sort of ulterior motives, but it's certainly very possible, and I like the idea of that. So, how do you see this going, Jim? Because right now he has a title, he has the tag team championship. Like, is he willing to forego a title just to bring the team down? And even then, the Hurt Business aren't, aside from having, you know, the mid title belt as well, they're not really taking over the place. They're not really a strong force to be reckoned with. What would be the benefit of bringing them down?
I mean, we're living in the middle of a pandemic. Not many businesses are thriving, and the Hurt Business is one of them. They are not. They are hurting. Yeah. Look, it's a tricky situation because obviously, like, you know, this is huge for Cedric. He's got a belt on him. It's, you know, I don't think he'd want to throw it away, but I also think it's that kind of like, and I guess we could tie these together, is that weird Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler relationship where they don't like each other, but there's some sort of respect there. And I think it's like, it's like an intimidation / jealousy thing where they clash heads because it's like, I'm better than you, no, I'm better than you. But at the same time, it's like, actually, they're probably better than me type thing.
See, I would argue that there isn't much respect going on in the Hurt Business. Like, you know, with Shayna and Nia, like, yeah, they're like that. We'll get into it shortly, but they don't like each other. They've openly said it. Like, they're constant beef, but they have still been able to be a cohesive team and deliver results and, you know, have a reasonably long tag team championship run. You know, and we're only in the early days of what the Hurt Business have in terms of the tag title run recently. So this if we start to see them still going well, but even though using Shayna and Shania, they at least know how to work the ring together.
Yeah,
like there's none of these like dirty tags or anything to get each other off and throw momentum.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, but not as like not as straight blatantly as this. Like they're doing it to secure the win. What I'm reading here is they're doing it just to fuck each other over.
Yeah, and Lashley's obviously the one having to step in and say like, pull your head in, guys.
Yeah.
Which ultimately led to Lashley had to tag himself in and sort of sort the match out to try and pull their heads in. MVP was very clearly pissed because he's seeing cracks in his little business foundation.
And it was like instead of yelling at the opposition, he was just straight yelling
at Cedric. He's just like, that's what you get for doing stupid things and stuff like that when Cedric got knocked down and stuff. I don't know. I still have suspicions that something sinister is going on there. And I think it's like a deliberate, like, I don't know. I think it's deliberate underneath it all, but it's being played off as just like miscommunication.
Okay, well, let's go down that route. Let's look at that fantasy booking idea. What is the next step from here? What is Cedric going to do to crumble it in even further? Because he's going to have to take a bullet here by the looks of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's sort of a case of like trying to topple them to take Lashley's title and go for something bigger than what he's at right now. I think that would be the ultimate goal there. Is like, sure, tag team titles are cool, but I'm a singles competitor and I deserve a singles title.
Okay. Well, because like in that same path, I think what he has gone, if he is as destructively minded as you say he is, and his plan all along is to bring that team down, I see him being the one to lose the tag titles, but then I think you can shrug it off as like what am I going to do? I lost. And then if he gets involved and causes Lashley to lose it, that's the catch. I think that's where it is. Or we see them eliminate each other during the Rumble. It's probably the big sign. It's either going to go two ways. Either someone's going to eliminate someone else at the Rumble in terms of like, Shelton may yeet Cedric over. Cedric may yeet Shelton over, which I think is more likely. Or they lose the title, then push towards the mid-card title. And of course, as you guys all know, we do record this live on Twitch. So big thank you to Billy Lopez for the follow that happened just then. Hi. But yeah, speaking of tag teams with some beef, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, they continued on this week beefing at each other.
Yes. Yep, so it was a continuation, I believe, of a previous week with Shayna Baszler facing Mandy Rose after, I think it was like a tag team match with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus Shayna and Nia.
Shania Payne.
Shania Payne. So Baszler obviously declares her entry, and she says something along the lines of like, I'm going to throw everyone out. I don't care if it's you or her, pointing at Nia Jax. And Nia's like, oh, I see how it is. Every woman for herself. Like,
well, yeah, and you're talking to the tied women with the most eliminations in a women's Royal Rumble, man.
Exactly right.
And Nia Jax, who failed to win both a women and a men's Rumble.
Exactly. There's obviously like proper cracks coming with Shayna and Nia. Like we've known it from the start. They don't like each other, but they have a healthy respect for one another as competitors, it seems. And after this match, that Shayna ends up winning against Mandy Rose, and then they both Shayna and Nia get attacked by Dana Brooke. Which I don't think this story is going anywhere. I think it's just
it does feel a little bit like it's not really doing a whole lot, not a whole lot of momentum.
It's just trying to keep them relevant rolling into the Rumble.
The only thing that comes out of this, they did state that they didn't get their rematch, but once again, this is WWE don't remember this. They don't remember that they were like, no more automatic rematches. And I guess the difference here is they haven't had an automatic rematch. They can still get a rematch, but it wasn't like literally the next day or the next show you're getting your rematch. So I guess they found their own loophole there in their own dumb rules that they continue to break. But I wouldn't surprised if they do get involved in a rematch with Asuka and Charlotte. Because Charlotte is very heavily distracted right now, and I think that's going to cause some riffage over there. But I don't know. I to this day still think that the pairing of Shayna and Nia is weird, and I don't know why they're doing it. Because as Noob says in the chat, Shayna should have challenged Asuka for the Raw Women's title, but we don't know why WWE is not doing it. And this is the thing, there was such good momentum. Like, when Shayna came out of the gate, it sort of came up from NXT and went straight for Becky. I was thinking, shit, this is the woman to dethrone Becky. Or Becky Lynch, you may not remember. It's
Yeah.
been like fucking months. But,
Yeah.
But either way, like, that's where I thought it was going to go. I was so confident that was where it was going. And it's almost like once Shayna took that L, she lost all of her, like, fierceness.
All the momentum, yeah.
And she just kind of did nothing for a while. She took a fucking hunk out of someone's neck, man.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Also, fun fact, if anyone that does join the chat, we play into the kayfabe. It's the whole point of the show. It's fun. So, we know the moment, the booking was because they got bored of her. But for us, we go a different way,
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing that's fascinating for me is, like, what is it? She is, like, two-time NXT Women's Champion. Like, she should have no fear.
Yeah.
Like, she's got a pretty decent record coming in. And, what now?
Yeah, exactly right.
And, like, are we going to see her go this hard at the Rumble again? Are we going to see her either beat her own record or, meet it at least?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, especially because she is tied with Bianca Belair. I'm curious to see how it'll go this year.
Yeah. Because Belair...
last year was impressive.
Yeah, because Belair herself, like, she's about to have a Chronicle go up. So, WWE math indicates that they're willing to give her a go. They're going to give her a bit of loving. Rumble coming up. Maybe it could be her. You don't know.
You never know.
But she had, as we'll drop between Raw and SmackDown. So she had a segment with Bayley.
I love this. I love that Bayley's called it Ding Dong Hello.
Yeah, so she has, because every wrestler has to have their own talk show now for some reason. We get Bayley's Ding Dong Hello talk show. Her comes in. Belair is her first guest.
I think the best part about this was when Bayley was like, "I'd like to welcome my GUEST." I was like, damn right, Bayley. And I'll give her credit, like, the glasses were working for Bayley. There was something about those glasses that I was just like, damn.
Yeah. Dash in the chat does say too many talk shows. That I agree with, because every motherfucker has a talk show for some reason, and I don't know why. And it's almost like there's this reluctance to have them do backstage promos or talk to the camera or talk to each other.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, it's almost like in order to have two wrestlers talk to each other, it has to be a show. And I don't know why that is. Like, why can't someone just confront someone else? Like, whether it be in the locker room. I guess because the hurdle is that they don't want, like, to look like there's just a camera in a room and it's like inorganic conversation, right? It's like becoming a, "Hi, Bayley, I would like to, threaten to throw you out of the Royal Rumble." Like, but this, the nature of a talk show, it feels scripted. It feels, because it is, but like it feels too heavily controlled. Like, it doesn't feel organic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's too much effort. Like, it's a lot of extra just to be like, I'm gonna fucking fight.
It's unnecessary. Yeah, it's really unnecessary. And in this, it doesn't even end up being like a proper fight. It's like Bayley challenges Bianca Belair next week to an obstacle course. Like, we've already seen that Belair can do, like, athletics way better than anyone else.
Yeah, like, there was a series of little vignettes, like, I don't know, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
The fastest and, the smartest. Like,
Like, I don't know what they're trying to achieve here. Like, they're like, "Oh, man, that whole Viking Raiders Street Profits thing didn't work then. Let's try it again now, but with women." It's like the Ghostbusters reboot. What the fuck? Didn't work.
It's an interesting one. Look, honestly, I'm interested to see an obstacle course. Like, I'm interested to see something different. I think it'll be stupid fun. I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, look,
because I feel like Bayley being Bayley, I feel like Bayley's going to do some sneaky shit to cheat or win, and I can't even begin to think what Bayley could do to ensure that,
Yeah, so with Bayley right now, you presume it's something dirty, like they'll maybe... see, the thing is, I don't know, because even the idea is so dumb that I can't think what the next dumb thing is. Because if it is a straight obstacle course, Belair has it, right? Like Bayley would literally have to do something sneaky in order to athleticism.
And I just can't think of it, and that's what I love about it. I'm like, what dumb, far-fetched thing is Bayley going to pull out? Like, I can't wait. I'm actually all for this one.
Yeah, look, I'm aware of it. I'll see where it goes, but yeah, one thing that I'm oddly in, but not out, but I'm also, actually, if anything, Ric Flair's in, and then he's out, and then he's back in again, and then he's out. Is Ric Flair might be banging Lacey Evans right now? Is all I'm saying.
Well, Lacey claims she's just learning from the best to ever step into the ring.
Yeah, learning dick.
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, she's learning. She's doing the oral exam, if you will. But yeah, obviously the taunts keep going here. Like it's daddy issue central, which relatable. But
love it.
I love it because I really think this is gonna help Charlotte step out of the shadow of Rick because she's really gonna. She has to. This is her, you're hanging out with the dirtiest player in the game. Like, I grew up with him. Obviously, I know all the tricks. I know, and especially with, the distraction of Lacey coming out in one of Rick's robes this week with Ric Flair in tow. It's you can tell that something's building there. And I think this is kind of like what was supposed to be the first time when Lacey first entered. I feel like she really squandered her opportunity initially, and she's doing the right things this time to get where she needs to be. In saying that, I think it's absolutely bloody hilarious. Like I said, relatability. But I'm interested to see sort of how Charlotte is going to take this and run with it, because I really think this is her sort of stepping out of the Flair name and making a name for herself.
So it's an interesting space, right? It's demonstrating a couple of things. Turns out good old Ric Flair will do...
Still got it.
He will just wreck his daughter for some strange. Is what that's his plan.
Yeah.
And it's a weird space to do that in, but as you said, best case scenario that comes out of this is that Lacey Evans literally takes some things on board. She does become better, and she does sort of take on those things, right? Sadly, it's not going to be the case. All this is doing is giving Charlotte charge, and because upon her return X amount of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, she came all back babyface to help Asuka get the win. This might be enough to sort of get her across the line to go into that heel energy, and then I can only guess head out for Asuka, go for that title, because this is I know many people don't like Charlotte. I think Charlotte's pretty mad.
I love it. This
is not a Charlotte thing to do. This whole idea is so below her, and I think she knows it. It's a situation of when they hear the music come in, it's almost like an annoying child. It's like she hears the Ric Flair's tunes or Lacey doing her little, and you can see the face of just, for fuck's sake, I'm just. It's a situation of, Dad, aren't you too fucking old for this? I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the embarrassing parent thing. It's like, oh my God, Dad, you're embarrassing me. Please stop.
It's exactly what it is. It's
the embarrassing parent. Yeah.
But the difference is, if you get mad, you'll have to punch a senior citizen, and I don't know how that's going to go for her. But there's... Oh, you're 100% frozen.
Parental abuse.
And not the best face either, might I add. I know Jeb can see or hear me right now, but she's gonna hate this so much. She'll come back. Yeah, she'll come back. Either way, what do you think, chat? Because I know as an example, Dash, you're not a big fan of Charlotte Flair in general, so this storyline's a little bit interesting. Oh, Mad Dog clipped it. There's a lot to take into account here. I think it's going to be as simple as that. I think Charlotte is better than this. She's going to crack the shits and just decimate, and then that'll be the line. Whether it be her costing the tag titles, or I think costing her her and Asuka the tag titles will then get her into a place to confront Asuka for the title. It's it's gonna be a weird time. And she's back.
Sorry,
And you've lost your mic.
Have I?
Are you back?
Hello.
You are absolutely gonna hate the face that you froze
I saw.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. Please don't. Just delete it.
I haven't got it. But yeah, it's an interesting space to be. We'll see what happens. Is that I'm unsure how I feel about it. Watching it, I'm like, ugh. Unless it gets to a situation with like, Ric Flair just like throating, Lacey at some point.
Oh yeah, tonsil hockey.
Like deep old man, teeth out, just getting in there.
Please stop. Okay, take it easy, Mae Young. Ric Flair is the new Mae Young. Oh my God, Ric Flair is this generation's Mae Young. You're welcome. You heard it here first. Ric Flair is Mae Young 2.0. Next thing he's going to be hooking up with Nia Jax. Like,
wow, what a complete spectrum of individuals he'd be trying to bang in the WWE if that were the case.
Well, do you remember when Mae Young gave birth to Mark Henry's hand or something?
I've
there
heard
was some
that.
weird stuff that went on there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ric Flair gives birth to something. Knowing,
But Mad Dog is true. She ain't like most girls.
No.
But New brings up a good point. Ric Flair is too old for TV. That is very,
he really
very
is.
true.
He needs to be at home. He's not there. You can tell.
Regardless of the fact that he's old as fuck, it's a pandemic. Don't be wheeling out old dudes to potential hotspots unless they want to create a story where he fucking dies of inability to breathe.
He's in a high risk category. It's ridiculous. One thing I will give credit to out of this whole thing was damn Peyton Royce put on a show in the ring.
She did. She went ham.
Yeah, she absolutely nailed it. Like the attack on Charlotte before the match and stuff like that, just super smart. I'm for it.
Now, I know we're really on the run of the women's division right now, but speaking with Peyton, Peyton has had like an interesting time when she's since separated from Billie Kay of the Iconics. So she's sort of connected right now with Lacey, and they got this weird tag team going on. However, Billie Kay hasn't quite found her place yet. She is sort of up in the air, and she's trying to find a team to connect to. So this week, she became temporary, also permanent member of the Riot
Job trial
Squad.
for the Riot Squad.
That's what we're seeing there. Interesting. Now she comes out in like tartan shirt and the short, like she's trying to get that same sort of
the tartan
energy
shirt and the black shirt and she's trying to like the gloves and the punk rock and stuff like that, and not doing a great job of it. And you can see that Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan were very uncomfortable, as they should be. But she tried, points for trying. She accidentally stumbled up. So Billie Kay does get on the mic, and I love how she just rolls with it. She stumbled up when she's speaking, and she tries to say mosh pitting, and she says mosh pushing.
Yep.
And Corey Grace pulls her out on it, and she's like, yeah, that's what we do in Australia. It's something completely different, but like mosh pitting, I'm an expert.
Yeah.
Like American mosh pitting and Australian mosh pushing is like totally different.
What made me laugh
you roll with it.
What made me laugh really hard is because like my stepdad's Scottish, right? So his accent kicks in, and like a common expression, for him is to get pished. Like, if you're drunk, you're pished with like, it's like getting sloppy, like getting messy, right?
Yeah.
So like, mosh pishing makes sense because I've done many mosh pits like drunk as fuck. So like, if anything, it's more relatable than regular mosh pitting. And in fact, and as we are both Australian, maybe that is how we do it here.
Yeah.
But I do love it. The commitment to the bit.
Oh, I love it.
Mint.
And unfortunately, like there is a bit of a slip up where Billie Kay's trying to cheer on Liv Morgan, who's facing Natalya with Tamina in her corner, and Billie's like yelling at Ruby Riott to get in the ring and help her out and stuff like that, which Billie Kay used to do for Peyton all the time, and it was smart moves. She knows what she's on about. But yeah, it ultimately ends up in Billie getting into the ring for some reason. Liv's like, what the hell are you doing? Natalya gets a roll up for the win.
Oh yeah, she got sort of confronted into a corner, essentially sort of a corner from Tamina. And she's like, I got nowhere to go but in the ring. And then, that cost Liv her moment.
the match. So I don't think that job trial went well. I don't believe she will have gotten the job, unfortunately. But I'm interested to see where she's going to apply next.
Yeah, well, because like one thing that if any eagle-eyed people on the social medias, it showed that Billie Kay has been punk for a while. In fact, she may have invented punk. Because they showed a photo of her from her early days in the Australian wrestling, where she came out in the fucking most 2005 thing I've ever seen in my life. Even down to her hair, it was immaculate. And apparently she came out to Avril Lavigne back then.
Even better.
I'll
live for that.
So the fun thing is, I was trying to think which Avril Lavigne song she came out to. Like, complicated, doesn't really have the right beats to enter a ring to. Skater Boy, I guess, but like, how does it fit? Is it with you? Very low sort of energy to that.
Girlfriend,
yeah,
high energy, but
high energy. Like I like that desire. Like just coming out there just to ready, like, still dudes. I don't know. The options, I'm sure someone will know the exact answer, but it's not endless. It's about four CDs worth. But
I'm interested to see. So I've obviously speculated about the reuniting of one Billie Kay and Peyton Royce,
as we discussed last week.
Yeah, and obviously I'm assuming both will be in the Rumble. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not.
Well, Peyton's declared.
Oh yeah, Peyton did declare. She did declare actually. So I'm assuming Billie will do the same thing. Like, will we get a little nostalgia, a little like iconics going on there?
Will they get a moment and they'll sort of like hug it out for a second? Everyone's like, oh my God.
And then they both get thrown out by somebody. Because that's what would happen.
Shout out to the mullet picking up on my little slip up there with when I said, the Avril Lavigne shong.
Yeah.
I think you're a bit pissed. Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
What's next, Jem?
I don't know. Let's have a look, see. What else happened? All right, let's talk about the big thing of the night. Let's talk about this Randy Orton.
Yeah. Okay, so at the end of last week, Alexa Bliss straight Hadoukens Randy Orton's face with a fireball. He's allegedly like all burnt out. He's got this like burn victim mask on.
Yeah. It actually looks like one of the masks they wear when they set somebody on fire, not when they're trying to hide burns.
Yeah,
whatever.
It looks like a lucha libre mask, but a real crappy one. He's his face is all red and raw because of the I presume the heat, the burn. They said he's only got first degree burns, so he's not going to be disfigured. Which I know Jem is someone with a mad heart on for Randy Orton. I'm sure he's glad his face ain't too fucked. Yep.
Yep, definitely pleases me. He goes on to mention that the voices in his head are louder than ever, and he's mad at himself for showing compassion to Alexa Bliss after what she did. He's like, a couple of weeks ago I showed her compassion, and now this is how, like, what I get back. He goes, but I don't blame Alexa Bliss though. I blame the Fiend.
Not Alexa Bliss.
So, yeah, Alexa Bliss. Obviously we see like, I guess this all ties together with the whole thing. Alexa Bliss does have, later in the show, her little playground thing where she's sitting on her swings and Asuka goes to sit on the other swing. Asuka is her guest, before their match later in the night. And Asuka goes to sit on the swing and she's like, you can't sit there, somebody else is there. And Asuka's like, okay. Like, Asuka's freaked out. She says backstage she hopes she doesn't see Alexa's death.
No. What exactly happened? Someone go, Asuka, what do you think will happen? And she goes, I don't know. And then walks away. And like, granted, you ask a dumb question, you get a dumb answer. But it's like, that was filmed. Like, that was used.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have.
Many things, things should hit the cutting room floor. That was one of them.
Yeah, exactly right. We're all human. We all make mistakes, But, it was really interesting to see this whole Alexa Bliss thing because during their match, that's all we saw of Randy Orton. He just has his little spiel and then that's all we see. And then, the focus is heavily on Alexa Bliss and Asuka for the night. Killer match. Very interesting that in the middle of the match, everything shuts down and they come back from a commercial, and Alexa Bliss is all done up different.
Yeah, so her hair's
like
different. She's got
dark.
black makeup on now. She changed her shirt from pink to black. It was weird that it happened in an ad break. It kind of broke the energy of it, the transition.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, at the end was pretty cool when you see the like transition back and the face changes back to the pink and the pigtails and the let me in but with the Fiend's voice. And I found it real interesting that when Asuka's like, Alexa, it's okay, like the Fiend is still here, and Alexa's like, don't dare say his name.
Yeah, apparently you can't say Fiend, you can't say Yowie Wowie, there's a bunch of things you can't do. And like that's fair. She's grieving right now. You know, and it's one of the It's a thing. But one thing I did like is when she did channel her fiendness, she became a fucking Karate Kid. That was mad.
Oh, I know. She was vicious. Yeah, just like, dodging backhands and kicks and stuff like that. And then a vicious sister, Abigail.
That was nice. I did love the use of Abigail. That was great.
You know, I'm keen to see a title match with Bliss versus Asuka, like Bliss like this. I'm interested to see that.
That's a good point. Now, because we haven't seen Asuka have a title run for a little while. She's been sort of out of that picture. So,
Alexa, you mean?
Alexa, yes, sorry. What did I say? Asuka, my bad. Because Asuka fucking has it right now. So, Alexa Bliss, she, I think, just putting it out there. I know it's not a fucking new opinion because it's on the internet. I think Alexa Bliss may have a chance for the Rumbaroo.
Yeah, well, she does declare herself for the Royal Rumble, which is exciting.
Yeah, and I think with this extra Fiend energy, you know, the BFE, the Big Fiend energy, she's like, it might give her an advantage. It might give her something strong to go into the Rumbaroo and maybe come out the victor, or at least have a good hot show. Because as you said, get in the same way that like putting a title on the Fiend sort of helped him a little bit. You know, maybe we can see a fucking sweet female Fiend belt.
Yes.
Even though the actual Fiend belt's kind of gross and not very good, but like maybe they can get something cool with it.
Yeah.
Noob in the chat goes, I like the interaction between Asuka and Alexa Bliss on the playground, and the main event match is fun, but here's my hot take. Asuka's highs outweighs her lows, but WWE, non-WWE fans are paying attention to Asuka's lows, making her look bad. Because that's the thing. Right now, Asuka's doing nothing. Like she's the Raw Women's Champion, but they've almost like forgot that she has it. Like they're focusing more on the tag title, which is good. The tag title has never been given the love that it should have. But you know, there's something, right?
Yeah.
But right now it's like you can't tell me that no one in the Raw Women's roster is looking at the women's title right now, unless they're all planning to win the Rumble. But that's not entirely possible. So what's Asuka going to do at Rumble?
Yeah, exactly right.
But I do like Mad Dog's idea, though. Number 30 in the Women's Rumble, Alexa Bliss comes in, Firefly Funhouse Titantron, goes black, boom, and she's back in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Starts eliminating folks.
Yeah, I reckon that's what it'll be. I mean, she did the Fiend backbend thing this week and stuff like that too, so she's really channeling that Fiend energy, that big Fiend energy.
That BFE.
You know what? I'm kind of about this. It's the right kind of silly. It really is. You know, seeing Asuka like petrified of like this, like, you know, can turn on a dime Alexa Bliss. Like, it's understandable. I'd be petrified too.
Like, I agree. It is in the wheelhouse of my kind of dumb, which I like. However, the only thing that makes me uncomfortable is the whole Alexa Bliss sort of being a young girl thing. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to hit here. Like whether it is like, you know, in the same way that the Bray Wyatt was like a TV kids show, hers is not quite the same. It's not a host. It skews younger, and that whether it's because, you know, previously I found her very attractive. I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss, and this I'm like, this makes me uncomfortable because I liked it when you were an adult, not being a child.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept in the way that Alexa has taken this on. Yeah, I don't know what to.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I understand the idea of like sort of her having her own version of the Fiend, but I think they're going the wrong approach, or she's obscured the message somehow, and what the Fiend has asked of her. Like, because although the Bray Wyatt had this, the switch personas, the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt wasn't a young boy.
Yeah. That's
You're
true.
frozen
It
again.
was.
So I'll talk to the camera. But he wasn't, he isn't a young boy. So it's a completely different energy. Again, it's a whole different sort of feeling. And I don't know why Alexa has chosen to go on in that direction. But it's an interesting decision nonetheless. Yeah, and then Noob in the chat agrees with me around the idea that she's acting like a child, which is a little bit weird. Look, there's worse things she could be doing, but yeah, no, it is a little bit weird. We'll see where it goes. There's time.
Yeah.
What else we got, Jem?
Let's have a look. See. Let's have a little talk about somebody who haven't shown their face for a hot minute, who have just come back, and that would be Retribution.
Yes, the Retribution. Eagle Piggle, Plinky Plonk, and Macapaka, they're all back this week.
Yeah.
So it turns out...
Yeah, so Macapaka was versing his Xavier Woods today.
It was. So with
Mace.
with our good friend,
our mate
who we've met and had a chat to, Kofi Kingston out with a broken jaw. Xavier's still around. He has a match against Macapaka with the rest of the Night Garden in the background.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was interesting because once there was obviously a little video package from Mustafa Ali stating, he's like, Kofi, as soon as I heard you were home with a broken jaw, I was hoping that you don't make it to Rumble. I hope you don't make it to No Way Out or whatever
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
Man, if they just pulled No Way Out of nowhere, that'd be mad.
Yeah, I hope that you're stuck at home with this broken jaw so severe that you can feel what I went through when you stole my limelight, basically. And I was like, oof.
See, this is cool.
Fair.
This is mad.
This is cool.
This is a mad throwback. For those that may not remember, right before Kofi Mania, it happened one way. Mustafa Ali got wrecked on a table. He wasn't able to compete in Elimination Chamber match. Kofi was his replacement. Kofi got so over with everyone that began the run for Kofi Mania. For Ali here, it is the idea that should have been his shot.
Yeah, which is fair. And he goes, I want you to hurt Kofi, but not just like physically. He's like, I want to hurt you. I want to hurt the people that you're closest to. And I'm going to start with Xavier Woods because he's all on his own.
Yeah, and then he starts punching his dog or something.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of this is like Ali's yelling at Xavier Woods, and Woods is going, "Huh? I can't hear you." And Ali gets close enough that Woods just socks him. I was like, "That's smart." But unfortunately, obviously, Retribution do get the upper hand, getting the win. And Ali very smugly sort of looks at the camera and just says, like, hope you get better soon, like, and then pisses off with Retribution. Yeah,
the issue is, like, as much as I love this throwback, because you and I discuss, like, we appreciate some bit of long-term story, or at least pulling from, like, it may not be one long storytelling, but it might be pulling from old events, right? It's sort of it does that nice idea that it validates us watching a year ago. But it seems kind of odd because Retribution came back, so Retribution came out of the woodwork after just being fucking teenage anarchists for a little while. They were sort of getting beef with the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business like kind of went, fuck you. And the Retribution were like, I don't know, who do we have beef with? Oh shit, fucking remember, yeah, you don't like Kofi, yeah? He's like, yeah, I don't like Kofi. Thanks, Eagle Piggle, you're the right fucking idea. You're spot on. That's what it feels like. Like, I appreciate the pull, but it's just like, they just want to, it's almost like they're just itching to start a fight. Let's fight the guy that's not here.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, let's touch on a few things very briefly.
Yeah, let's just
really
rip through some stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously we see more Jeff Hardy and Elias and Jackson Riker.
Main event ends in like third hour. Towards about DQ. I'm so sick of DQ finishes, man.
Yeah, right. And it's all because of the miscommunication that happened the week before. Elias was like, "Don't interrupt, okay? Don't get involved." And Riker took it seriously. And then Riker was like, "Don't get involved, right?" And Elias didn't take it seriously. And Riker's like, "I told you not to." And he's like, "I thought you were like doing what I was doing last week." And he's like, "Rah."
Yeah. I don't care about fucking...
It's filler.
Jackson Riker, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't care about him anyway. And it's weird that he's been bundled with Elias. I feel like Jeff Hardy is just because once again this is returning back to when Elias got wrecked by Sheamus, allegedly, where Sheamus was claiming that Jeff Hardy sort of gave him a hit and run because he was drinking. Like, so there's that, like, they're pulling from that again, but that's been resolved. That was resolved yonks ago.
Back then.
This is like the fourth week in a row, it feels like anyway, that we're watching either Elias and Jeff Hardy getting some sort of tussle. A tussle, sorry. So it's
it's just the same thing. It's just repetition, and it's not good repetition.
No.
Not a good time. Same with the whole AJ Styles Ricochet Royal Rumble match, contestant match thing.
Once again, every motherfucker can just claim it, but Drew Gulak can't, and Ricochet can't.
Yep, they have to fight for it, which Ricochet loses. AJ Styles decides that he doesn't like Adam Pearce for some reason and tries to sick Omos on him, or whatever his name is.
Omos, yeah. Why is everyone fucking up against Adam Pearce right now?
I know, poor Adam Pearce. Although, I would like to transition to that. That's why I brought this up, is because Adam Pearce is a smart motherfucking man. So we do see, obviously, the start of SmackDown is Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns backstage talking about how the contract says the same jargon, it's just a different pay-per-view and a different superstar's name, and it's all the same thing, and, he's like, "We need a stipulation, consider it sorted, I'll go get this done." Goes off to Adam Pearce, gives him the contract, says it's no DQ match, and Adam Pearce is like, "I get it, you want to hurt me, whatever." Signs the contract, sends it back. Paul Heyman goes back to Roman Reigns, who's with Apollo Crews for some reason, and Apollo goes to leave, and he goes, no, you can learn from this. And Paul's like, la, no DQ match. He's like, "I don't want a no DQ match. I didn't say a no DQ match. I want a last man standing match. Like, you can go get this, tell Adam Pearce and tell him I want it signed in the ring later tonight." And Paul Heyman's like, shit. But he gets it done. Adam Pearce comes out to the ring at the end of the night, he signs the contract, and Roman Reigns signs it, and Adam Pearce is like, "I've been waiting a long time for this." And as he's walking out, he starts to stagger on his right knee. And he goes, "Oh, I've got this pre-existing injury, and, some things just come back. And, Paul, you said it yourself, every contract has the same clauses and the same wording and stuff like that. You'd also know that there is a clause that states that if I'm unfit to wrestle, I can find a suitable..."
That it was a situation of a card subject to change.
That's it. Card subject to change. Yeah, it says card subject to change. And he's like, "Seeing as I don't believe I'll be medically cleared to wrestle this match, well, I'm just going to have to find a suitable replacement, aren't I?" He calls out Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens just walks out and he signs and that's it. And the look on Roman's face is just sheer pissed off, and it was just perfect. And I knew something was coming because as soon as Reigns signed it, Adam picked up the microphone and he goes, "I've been waiting a long time for that." And the smirk on his face, I was like, what sneaky little tricks have you got up your sleeve, Mr. Adam Pearce?
He's a tricksy man.
That's why he's an official, because he knows everything. He knows his way around. And we saw him with Sonya Deville, who's obviously training to be an official as well.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying to her, that, don't worry, he's just teaching Sonya Deville the ways of the official, which I thought was really smart, you know.
Yeah.
I love how Adam Pearce just turned it fully on his head and made it play in his way, and perfect. Absolutely perfect. I thought it was great.
Yeah, like a couple of things. So I appreciate that that Adam Pearce able to get his way out, because that's not what I want to see. Like, come Rumble, I'm not interested in seeing Roman versus Adman. That's the one I mean.
No matter how good they say it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. That's
no.
You know, but it is just like. But I also appreciate it in. We can see Roman's head ticking here. We can see his plan laying out ahead of him. For him, it's all getting through to Mania. So he's very intentionally picking his defenses, but from now to then, right? In the same way that
he believes, being the head of the table, he is entitled to pick his opponent.
Yeah, in the same way that he pulled, got Jey Uso to essentially try taking L for him in Hell in a Cell, with the idea like, hey, do this, man. Take the L. What was it, Hell in a Cell? The one before it? I don't remember. It was either way, take the L. That way we can keep moving forward and whatever. But it's the same thing. He's like, look, I can beat an official. That's an easy win for me. That keeps the momentum going.
Yeah.
And because for him, depending on who wins the Rumble, this could alter his plans. But at least here he has a step up. Because, once we get into WrestleMania, which there's a little segment we'll discuss in a moment. I like it from that sense. But we also just saw Roman versus Kevin at TLC. So I'm hoping there's something, like if there's something here, I don't know what it is, but I imagine it's going to be larger, it's going to be huge, it's going to be something.
Yeah, there's going to be something like hiding under there, but at the same time, because I didn't watch TLC, I'm keen for it.
But it is a last man standing match, and what is Owens good for? Fight Owens, fight until he can't fucking get up anymore. So that's part true. I like. I still don't see Roman coming out with a loss here. He's keeping that title, but I think potentially Owens could bring some chinks into that armor. Put some instability at the head of the table. There's a couple of things that could work in that direction, I think.
Definitely. We did see a little promo from the Street Profits just saying they want their belts back, basically. Not much going on there. What else? Oh, this is good. So Carmella was in the arena and she was having a little chat to Kayla. And she starts bagging Sasha out. She's like, where is she? She's not here because she's afraid of me. And then Sasha comes out of nowhere and just like shoves her. And that Reginald just stands in front of them. And like Sasha just straight up being the boss that she is like, oh yeah, tell your girl she can have her title match if I have you first.
So
Sasha Banks is just like, Sasha Banks is like, I'm going to fight Reginald.
Is she going to fight Reginald or she's going to fucking have his way with him? Like, either way, she's getting through him to get to the thing. And like, both options, but fuck it, why not? Yeah. But
I thought that was pretty cool on Sasha Banks' behalf, though. Like, just like, I have to go through Reginald to get to me. Like.
See, the thing here is, once again, we just saw Carmella versus Sasha. So, like, why are we treading that again? Like, granted, I think, I have such an issue with repeated matches personally. But I understand, like, if there was some good narrative here around why they're getting rematches, I'd be more okay with it. Right now, it just feels like we don't have anybody else, so we're just going to put them together. Like, in terms of, because the idea for Carmella here, her argument is that essentially that I deserve a rematch. But what have you done to deserve a rematch? Nothing. And like, so I am not invested in you going for that shot again. Yeah.
See, I still haven't seen this yet, so this is me being like, oh, I haven't seen this. I'm excited for it. And I think that's where some of this stuff sort of repeats, I guess, at the start of the year, is because people do take that break, that Christmas, New Year period break. People take a lot of time away.
Well, with
they don't watch.
Well, I know we don't really give a shit about the ratings or whatever. That's not what we do. But like, your argument is really valid because a lot of people checked out over the break.
Yeah, and myself included. So it's a case of like, oh, I can see this again. Like, it makes sense. Yeah. I'm keen to see it. One thing I didn't care about was the whole like Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn looked like a number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship, which Apollo Crews does win by pulling a sneaky and like literally exposing Sami Zayn's almost entire ass. On the pants. One thing I did love though is like Big E was channeling some real cool vibes where he was like in a winter sweater and he's laying on a couch ringside with the announce team and he's got a little mini fridge and he's got like a little fruit cup that he's eating from, and there was just perfect Big E vibes right there. I was all about that. But it's looking like, we're going to see Big E versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship.
Again,
it looks like Crews. Yeah, it looks like Crews might be joining Roman Reigns' posse, so he might.
How he's not part of the family, and like I don't understand.
I know.
I don't understand
like
why he would need to be involved. But it's not that the whole idea is the table. It's the family. It's the dynasty, right? Apollo Crews isn't part of that Samoan dynasty.
As Jay also called it, the bloodline.
The bloodline. He's not part of the bloodline, as far as we all know. Like apparently everyone's related to The Rock. I guess Apollo Crews is, sure. You know what I mean? But like, I don't understand why that there is an involvement. And once again, we're seeing Apollo Crews versus. This is the third time.
Yeah.
So that they've had an IC title match from recollection.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yeah.
Mad Dog in the chat did clarify that Carmella did pin Sasha in a tag match 2 weeks back. Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations. But like, to me, that's still.
Well,
that's
if you
still
pin the champion, you get a title shot. I think that's.
Yeah, but she.
Yeah.
She had a but
it's
but
like
that
Alexa
is
Bliss
that
pinned
at its
Asuka.
core is a rematch. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Alexa Bliss pinned Asuka, so she's entitled to a shot at the belt.
Yes,
I
in a singles match.
Works.
In a singles match, sure, I completely agree with that. But just because you beat them in a tag match, I don't feel that should be like just fucking one up for. You know, give him once again, I'm hearing him pooping repeated matches, giving him another match, and then if she wins that, then give her the title shot. Yeah,
that's fair. I think it's fair. I think
if it's a good tag team, she shouldn't have done all the work. It's a shared effort to get that win. So in that example,
I think it's fair.
Her tag team partner should have the exact same rights as to get a shot. If it's about wins,
I don't think so. I think it's whoever gets the pin because they're
because what if in that tag match that it was the partners that got the win?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. I see logic in it. I understand where you're coming from as well. I think this is one of those we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's just always the way it's been, and that's always the way I've known it. So that's just how it is to me, if you will. But yeah. What else did we see?
But Roman.
Speaking of repeating, the dirt sheet doing dumb shit.
Oh, so speaking of fucking Sami Zayn, his ass hanging out, let's talk about the whole dirt sheet, right? So Miz and Morrison, they've got this whole thing planned. They're apparently interviewing Goldberg. Joke's on us. It's Gilbert.
Oh, I loved it. I haven't seen Gilbert in a while. I was excited.
He's like $25 on Cameo right now. If you really want to see him that bad.
I love Gilbert.
This was not I actually no fucking lie. It started funny and I really enjoyed it. Like, this is so dumb. And then he came out and they started, and the next thing, Drew McIntyre's music comes in and out comes the guy from Numbers in a kilt, but like way fatter than he was in Numbers, which made it even funnier again. And his wig keeps falling off. His fucking asshole keeps hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, like, absolutely.
Even Drew McIntyre had a laugh at it.
And the fact that they've come in the ring and like, it's very clear that Miz and Miz and Morrison like paid them to come do a bit, and they're like, the bit's not working. And they're like,
the guy's stuffing it up.
Yeah,
it's so
like
funny.
that was entertaining enough. Like, it was still very fucking dumb.
It was dumb.
I think it
wasn't as bad as that story.
If it was just Gilbert, I would have been pissy because I think that is too of an old thing. But having the guy from Numbers being asked out McIntyre, that was sold.
Yeah.
That completely sold on it for me.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Another thing that I really don't care for at the moment is Baron Corbin picking a fight with the Mysterios. Don't care.
No.
Like,
Don't even talk about it.
It's cool to see some progression with Ray and Dominic, and Dominic's obviously starting to get his own. And he's starting to get his own in that he's starting to become a bit more aggressive and a bit angrier, and he's, he does go on to say on commentary that apparently this year he and his dad will be chasing tag team gold together.
Cool, that I'm
which
okay
I was
with.
excited to hear. Yeah, which I was excited to hear. And then backstage, obviously, like, Dominic's pissed. Ray's like, calm down, it's okay, and... he's like, you've got to remember, like, you can't just go after somebody like Baron Corbin. He's this, And, like, Dominic's like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to take him down. And Ray's like, no. If we're going to do that, we have to think smart. If you want to beat a giant, you got to think like one. And I know the right person to speak to. And I'm interested to see who they're going to talk to.
Braun Strowman.
I'd hope so. That would be mad.
We haven't seen Braun Strowman in a little while.
We haven't seen him in a while. This would be the perfect place for him to come back.
I was expecting a Rumble return, but there's Q.
Yeah. And there was another little, like, it didn't really make sense, but it was still kind of cool, was the Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro match. So this comes off of Cesaro coming up to them and making fun of Daniel Bryan working out with Otis and Chad Gable, who's gone back to Chad Gable, thankfully.
Was it the Alpha Academy?
I'm not sure what they call themselves, but they're doing workouts, and, Daniel Bryan's asked about how, like, because I believe he's declared for the Royal Rumble match as well.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, he is asked about how he feels after his loss to Shinsuke Nakamura last week, and he goes, I have a lot of respect for Shinsuke, I'm sure he has for me. Cesaro comes up and is like, oh, that was just a pity handshake on Shinsuke's behalf. I'm his friend, I know what he's all about, like, this is BS, yada, yada, yada. This ends up leading into a match about Bryan and Cesaro. Yeah, look, honestly, storyline-wise, but match-wise, phenomenal.
Oh, of course, yeah, because they both can go. Like, Daniel Bryan is brilliant. Cesaro is, of course, brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason that Cesaro just gets plonked into a bunch of matches because he's fucking good.
He is an amazing superstar. He's got the right agility and stuff like that. He's good. So yeah, like, storyline-wise, I was a bit like, whatever. But I think it's another just like, we're going to go into the Royal Rumble, so here's a showcase.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm for it. Like, I'm interested to see. Like, I feel like I haven't seen Cesaro wrestle in a little while. So this is
because the last time we saw some tag team with Shinsuke, but then when they had the titles and they kind of lost the titles, so it's not really around at the moment.
Well,
is there anything?
But they're still buddy.
Yeah, they're still friends, which is nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we've got left to go? Because I feel like we've kind of hit everything.
Two things.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got the Jey Uso Shinsuke Nakamura match, which doesn't really come down to like anything. It's just a match because Jey declares that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
One thing he did declare that he's going to declare, and then he's going to go over to Raw, win the title from off Drew, down the line, and bring it over to SmackDown. That I like as an idea. Like, if you want to really solidify that table, fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah, your place at that table, definitely. I did love that when Shinsuke comes out, he's like, well, if your brother's the big dog, then you must be his little puppy. Like, if your cousin's the big dog,
coming into his old tunes, of course.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I know, the no singing, just the old instrumental. I was so hyped by that when I heard it. I was just like, there's no singing. This is orchestral. This is old music. I was hyped. I was so excited because to me, that's like, oh yeah, like something new's coming for Shinsuke. And I'm actually kind of excited about it. I feel like Shinsuke was having a good run there that just totally got dropped.
Hey, he himself won a Rumble.
Exactly it. So I was excited to see this. It was a pretty damn good match. Obviously, Jey Uso gets in trouble at some point for having his foot on the ropes. He gets called out about it. Pretty sure he ends up losing the match. Cesaro declares his entry into the Royal Rumble while he's sitting at the announce desk because he comes out mid-match to support his friend Shinsuke. And then at the end of the match, Jey Uso's backstage with referee Charles Robinson saying, like, you don't mess with the bloodline, like, you better watch out for your job, basically, like, implying that he's going to get Charles Robinson fired.
So he's going to the manager.
Yeah. Nothing much there, really. I think it's just another showcase.
Well, it was just off the back of the gauntlet match last week for the opportunity,
that's true,
and
where
Jey
they
Uso
attacked
comes in and
Shinsuke.
checks it. Yeah.
I almost forgot
A
about that.
little bit of vengeance there, but okay.
Yeah, exactly right. And then the piece de resistance was the WrestleMania report.
This is
is
my
beautiful.
kind of dumb.
This is why we're ending this on this.
Yeah.
I thought it was the perfect place to end it. It was the cheesiest, dumbest thing. What was it? It was Henry E. something, and I can't remember.
The names are dumb.
But the best part was, John Cena being called Hugh, can't see me.
Yeah.
That was just perfect. But basically, they announced that there's going to be some changes to WrestleMania.
Yeah, so this year's
everything going
WrestleMania will once again be a 2-dayer.
Yes.
I love, because I think the 2-dayer is a best fucking decision. Because I can, it's two days of 3.5 hours is way better than 1 day of 8.
Yes.
It means I get to watch 2 days of wrestling in a row. I can't fault it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to take a day off work for that. Anita Realman was her name.
Yeah, Anita Realman. Yeah.
Thank you, Mad Dog. But and they're returning to the stadium that they should have done Mania at last year. So once again, they've repeated the pirate theme, which is mad because I bought.
You didn't really get it.
No, but I bought
last year's WrestleMania is like a ride.
I bought a couple bits of merch for last year's Mania because they were just fucking moving them, and all my pirate merch is still relevant, which is cool.
Yay! 2021 will be held at the Raymond James Stadium over 2 days on the April 10th and 11th. They also announced that, thanks to Sasha Banks, Haley something, Sasha Banks announces that 2022 will be held at AT&T Stadium in Texas on April 3rd. And then 2023 will be WrestleMania Hollywood, held at the SoFi Stadium on April 2nd.
Yeah, so smart call, because next year was really looking to be the Hollywood. What was it this year?
It was supposed to be this year.
Yeah, so this year was meant to be the Hollywood one. By pushing it back 2 years, it seems like a long time, because it is, but is it a 100% smart decision, especially with the global pandemic as it is right now?
Yes.
Obviously, they had big, grand plans for the Hollywood one. That's going to be pushed back. And it's a situation of, in order to get the amount of people that they want, it's going to take 2 years. Because we've come to learn that WrestleMania this year will have about 15,000 people in attendance, which is way more than I originally anticipated, which is something huge. Oh, and Dash also adds that California does have the Super Bowl, which does change as well.
And not just that, Vince McMahon's best friend did just get kicked out of office too.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to affect him too bad. That's like, but it's a good call. I'm happy with it. I'm happy for another 2-day.
And the way they announced it was just flawless. Yeah, like it was the right kind of
amount of dumb. And it's one of those things. I know a lot of people sort of were giving it a bit of shit, were poo-pooing on it. But it's one of those things like this. I feel is the energy that WWE has and should focus on. Like it is technically kid friendly, but it's also like beautifully dumb. And I loved the vibing off each other that Steph and Triple H did. Triple H in a wig was mad. Steph, who we haven't seen in a little while, she was involved with, and she was sort of given that good stuff as well. I thought it was a pretty damn amazing announcement overall. Can't fault it. Even though John Cena ripped his gear off at one point without sort of real explanation, but I still loved it. It was awesome. I believe that Jem can't hear me.
Okay, there you
are. Hey, there we go. Sorry, I was just giving a lot of praise to the WrestleMania announcement.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was so stupidly cheesy, and like the weird seediness between Steph and Triple H, that just made it even
that's
better.
A good reporter laugh. That is a good reporter laugh.
Yeah. Not like you're spectacular, like Henry or whatever, and then it's just like you can't see me. news, go. That was just the best. And then I love at the end of it, they're taking their hair down and they're like, nobody will ever know it's us. And they're like, yeah, I know, right? We did good.
Yeah, that was like good. Yeah, good. Two little proud parents. Like, oh, we did a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing for the kids.
Perfect. Right amount of done. It's just
I'm still fascinated, like I said, having them repeat the pirate theme, which which is kind of cool because I think they really wanted to use the whole setup at that stadium because it is for the Pirates, I think. Pirates.
Yes.
Whatever the fucking team that's there.
It's
the Pirates. Yeah, it's the Pirate
they
team.
didn't get to use it properly last time.
Yes, that would be mad. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what their retake of the edit, because last year they had that promo video at the start of Mania. It was really awesome. I'd love to see what they do this year. So of reshifting that. But yeah, so Mad Dog in the chat goes, I hear PopC excursion to Mania in LA. Man, if they can correct shit within the next 2 years, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A literal bucket list item of mine is to see a WWE pay-per-view in person.
Yes.
Now, the reason I say pay-per-view because that's flexible. Like if Super Showdown returns, that counts.
For sure.
Because it was Super Showdown that got me into wrestling again. So I'd love to see that because we're scheduled for a house show in July. That ain't happening. But it'd be cool to get a PPV in there at some point. And, like that's the only way. Like if they can be like, look, we've had to delay 2 years worth of wrestling. For you guys here in Australia, we'll pay for it. We'll pay up for it with a pay-per-view in 2 years' time.
Super Showdown, or something.
Yeah,
would be lovely.
and then we get some transferable tickets or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Dash also agrees. Bucket list item is Mania. Yeah, Mania is on.
Yeah, for sure. Mania is a to-do.
So that we'll work towards that over the next 2 years, and hopefully, go vaccines, and hopefully, in 2 years, I'd like to think the United States will tidy themselves up a little bit. There's already some decisions that have been made today that might put them in the right direction.
We can only hope.
We'll wait and see that going well. But one thing I want to do, Jem, before we bounce.
Yes.
The Royal Rumbaroo right around the corner.
Yes.
We will do this every week until the Rumble comes up. As of this very moment, who are your picks? Because we'll have our sweep, of course, but who are your picks?
I feel like Randy Orton's going to take the win.
What is this? His third Rumble win?
Yeah.
Actually, with time with Stone Cold, the only person to get 3.
Yeah, which I think is, I think it's valid for Randy. I think he deserves something like that. He has put in the hard yards.
Yeah, but he won it 3 years ago.
I know, but still, like, I feel like, I don't know, like he does say in his little promo, everybody's trying to stop the inevitable, which is him winning this year, and I think he's very much on it. I think what has happened because the Fiend is afraid that he will have to face Randy Orton again.
Randy has an advantage. He's got fucking burn wounds. No one will want to touch him because he'll be all peely and gross. And like that's going to work. So no one's going to want to touch him to yeet him over the edge. That's a good call. But I don't think that's the case. But who do you think about the women?
Women's Royal Rumble, it's a tricky one. I don't know. I really don't know. I would like to see Shayna Baszler take it because I think Shayna could do something awesome leading into a feud with Asuka and actually getting that belt. I think would be perfect right now. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I think because of the circumstances.
With Asuka though, bitch, that's different brands, dude.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought her and Shayna were on the same brand.
Oh no, Shayna! Oh, my apologies. Shayna is 100% on Raw. My apologies.
Yeah.
So complete brain fart.
Otherwise, I'm thinking it may be Alexa Bliss with everything that's going on at the moment and how focused it is on this whole her Randy Orton the Fiend thing. I have a feeling Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss will take the win.
But yeah, Dash does correct me. You can choose whichever champion you want. That is very, very true. But I mean, because when you said Asuka, but my brain thought you said Sasha because I think I may have been thinking, but I don't know.
No.
Anyway, I think it was wrong. I like your picks. Shayna's mad. However, I don't think it's going to go that way. This is how I see it. This is my prediction heading into WrestleMania. That's what we're going to see. So the winner of the Women's Rumble will be a SmackDown superstar, and they'll be going for Sasha. And I believe it'll be Bianca. And I said believe it's Bianca Belair, right?
It should be.
Should be.
So I feel like Bayley's giving her a push right now.
She's a dominant force. I think that she will be someone to keep an eye on, and that's sort of what they'll be looking at doing. Giving her a shot in that space. She's got a chronicle, she got whatever. Like there's enough little bit of WWE math to put her in a good space. The only other person I would think that being, as I said, was Alexa Bliss in terms of a Raw. I don't see it going to Shayna. I think Shayna had an opportunity and they didn't run with it. Alexa would be great because I'd like to see where they, in order to keep pushing her character a little bit further. But I think the moving forward, it is Charlotte versus Asuka. That's where they're heading towards. So with a sort of a break in their tag team at the moment, and then that break will then lead to them going each other for the title.
Yeah.
So in terms of the men's rumble, it'll very likely be a Raw superstar because no one is getting in with Roman. Because knowing that he's going to be winning for probably for a little time, I don't see them using the Rumble to help push that. No. The fact that the men's championship on Raw is currently being used they've put Goldberg in it to pad time until after Rumble. Leads me to believe that's where they're looking.
Yeah, for sure.
Selfishly, I'm wanting Keith Lee. I think.
Oh, right.
I think there should be a little bit of messaging in when they had the Legends Night and they made sure all the legends were out there to try put over Keith.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a sign of things a sign of where they're wanting to go.
Yeah.
Now, Keith, they talked. There was that rumor mill that he got put back into the Performance Center, as a bunch of other dudes did. But then those rumors happened, and then the week after he had this bang as fuck match with Drew. Then he had that ripper match the week after. Like it's almost like he's like, well, I guess I'll step up then, even though he already was. Yeah. That's me personally, and everyone knows my big bias for Keith, but that's where it's going to be. I don't see it being Randy as much. I think there's keeping the 3 Rumble wins to Stone Cold, I think means something.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll probably go down that route. Plus, I don't know where that feud's ending between the Fiend and Randy, but I don't see it ending in. It's Fiend and Randy still going ahead. Randy's not going to take the champion. He's not going to win the title and then just forego that feud. Dash says Brock Lesnar. Good.
Oh yeah.
If you want to see Brock, if you want to see Drew overcome that again, which I don't see. I don't see the reasoning for that. Unless you want to do a throwback to last year, because maybe they wanted to have Brock versus Drew in a big fucking match for Mania last year, and they didn't get to have it. Yeah. So maybe they'll do it again this year, but I think it'll lose its impact. Because they've repeated it, and he's winning here, retaining rather than getting the title for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit up in the air. But because if I look back at last year, I don't see any grandiose plans for what they would have done with Drew and Brock. Like, it wouldn't be this big, long, match that it gets the fans in. It's this massive thing. And I don't see Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at Mania. If they do, people will no longer watch. Like, people already no longer watch. But if they then throw Goldberg versus Brock at Mania, people will quit even harder. Like, if
Yeah,
their concern is
exactly
retaining viewership right now, you do not go Goldberg versus Brock. No one wants to see that.
No chance.
That is not happening.
Yeah.
But Drew Agnew in the chat, I will beat Brock. I think Drew has a shot. Yeah. I've seen how Drew can shear a sheep, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him take a sheep to Suplex City. It's very possible that he could take on Brock Lesnar. Give that sheep an F8. Not quite an F10.
Yeah.
An F8.
Yeah.
Drew the farm boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of the show. Let us know who you think at this moment in time is going to win the Royal Rumbaroo. This has been the Young and the Wrestlers, the PopC WWE podcast. We take a look at the storylines, the characters, and the all the fun parts of the WWE. Even there's not a whole lot of fun, we try to make fun where we can. It usually comes at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation just like everyone else has tonight, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculture so we can watch us record the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. Be sure to go to your podcast service. It gives a 5-star rating and a written review. Or if you are on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support the show financially, you can. Patreon.com/thepopculture, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop. We buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. New wrestling-based designs are coming. I'm gonna look at some some PlayStation designs as well. We'll get something going, but we need some new shirts. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem.
We'll see you then.
Good night.